It's John Pollock, John Ramdine, and Robin Black coming up Saturday night. Bellator 170 goes down from the Forum in Inglewood, California. This was originally going to be a head-to-head battle with the UFC running the Honda Center as well in California, and that would have been a pay-per-view. That fight got scrapped. They're going to be running the Honda Center in the summer, so Bellator gets the night to themselves at the Forum and on television on Spike TV. It's Tito Ortiz's retirement fight as he takes on Chael Sonnen, but as we've discussed, guys, this is one of the better Bellator main cards we've seen in years, I would say. I mean, from top to bottom, when you look at Paul Daly fighting Brennan Ward, the return of Halleck Gracie, he's taking on Hisaki Kato, Georgi Karahanyan, who is always fun, taking on Emmanuel Sanchez.
Shinzo Machida.
He's on the prelims, and then Derek Anderson and Derek Campos. This is a really solid main card.
This is one of those scenarios Bellator is just thrilled about. As you pointed out, there's no UFC. BJ Penn was last Sunday. Next weekend there's a card. It's Pena and Shevchenko. I don't know how many people, unless you're a hardcore fan, are jazzed about that card. So for the MMA masses, this is perfect. They all know Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen, not only a mixed martial arts star, he's penetrated the casual fan base. He's out in the mainstream masses. Tito Ortiz, you associate him with mixed martial arts. This is going to be a fun fight. Robin liked the term fun fight, so we're going to say this is what it is. It's a throwback. These guys are going to, they have great story. Their contributions to mixed martial arts have been great. And then all the lead up, the Paul Dalys, the Katos. There's so many good fights that are going to entertain the crowd, and then when you get to the main event, there's going to be this huge payoff because they know how to entertain.
If only Chael could have got the word out somehow. You know, if he could have just said or done something controversial, or dropped some quotes or something. But unfortunately, what we got here is a guy who doesn't know how to sell fights against it. And so I don't think anyone's going to watch this show. No, Chael Sonnen. This week alone, I have, and I'm a fan. I consider him a friend, a mentor of sorts. Not in how I behave here, because I think Chael's a crazy man, but like just in making decisions and stuff like that. But I don't know how you could get more Chael Sonnen than you had this week. It's really unbelievable. And if you're Bellator, this is exactly what you were hoping. And I started to get a little, I was having a beer with my wife last night, and she will humor me in conversations about, she's heard me on the phone with Chael, so she knows who he is. And I said, hey, is that Celebrity Apprentice? Has that got anything to do with Viacom? Because if it does, then, imagine Chael, this genius, is like, well, I want to go, actually, I don't want to fight for Bellator, but I will if you can do the Celebrity Apprentice. But, oh, no, I got this UFC contract. What if I get busted for drugs? Like, you started, you know what I mean? Like, the wheels start going.
Was it just beer?
Yeah, it was just beer. But the wheels start going because the guy is so clever and the guy is so smart. And he always is 2 or 3 steps ahead that you wonder just how much of this he's marionetting.
The human chess game.
Yeah. He's a really smart dude.
When you look at Bellator, their all-time viewership record was set last February for the rematch between Ken Shamrock and Royce Gracie and Kimbo Slice Dada 5000. The Kimbo fight, it peaked at 2.5 million viewers. Do you sense this fight being able to hit that level? I don't know if I necessarily
wouldn't be surprised.
Sense that momentum. You're right. Maybe it will.
I wouldn't be surprised, especially with the Celebrity Apprentice going on. Chael Sonnen's just one of those guys. When you think about some of the biggest fights ever in the UFC, because
the last time he fought on free television was that first card the day FS1 launched, and it was gigantic for a network that people didn't know where it was on the dial. They were having problems with clearances, and him and Shogun. I mean, that was a loaded card in Boston, and it did a phenomenal number. So Chael on free TV, it's been over 3 years.
Yeah, and that's exactly why people know Chael. They understand. They laugh at him. They hate him. The guy.
They love him. They hate him.
There's so many different reasons. Everybody wants to tune in for one reason or another. This is a perfect pickup by Bellator because you can utilize Chael Sonnen in so many different ways. This is amazing, especially to have Tito Ortiz go out against an opponent the level of Chael Sonnen, who's been around just as long as Tito Ortiz, and both guys have contributed to the success and growth of mixed martial arts. It's awesome.
Yeah, and you know what? It's going to be a fight you can understand. Big punches, big takedown attempts on the ground, big, you know what I mean? Broad strokes. There's not going to be complex subtleties going on in this fight. This isn't necessarily the kind of fight that gets me yazzed. But it'll be a lot of fun on a weekend where
it's all about the personalities in
Yeah.
this. And honestly, to fans tuning in, even if this is a lackluster main event, that lineup of that main card, I think you're going to walk away with. You did get some exciting fights regardless of the main event. You just want to see these two. It's a grudge fight. That's what it is. One other thing, it's the return of Halleck Gracie. We have not seen him have an MMA fight since 2010 against Kazushi Sakuraba.
Yep.
And
he's
yet,
trying to get his shit together with all the Metamora stuff, because I know there's a lot of people in the jiu-jitsu community. They love what's going on with the jiu-jitsu competition right now. And one of the bright spots was Metamoris, but it seems to be such a disaster. The athletes not getting paid, not knowing when the shows are. So he was trying to get all that stuff sorted out. I'm surprised that he's actually fighting in mixed martial arts.
You know
we'll see how he looks.
There is a bubble that happens when you start training for a fight. The rest of the world doesn't matter. Trump who? What's going on? You get in this little universe where nothing matters but the training session and the food and the sleep and the rest and how the sparring went and the strategy. You get in this bubble. So for some people, when their life becomes really chaotic, they can just narrow it down and focus on a fight. And those guys can be very dangerous. I'm excited to see Halleck fight.
this is a solid card, and Paul Daly, Brennan Ward. I don't think that fight can disappoint. It's coming up Saturday night, 9 Eastern on Spike TV.